Today, we're talking about why most people freeze when building their network and the simple solution that I think almost nobody uses. So I'm Zvi Band, and after building multiple CRMs and coaching thousands of professionals over the years, I've discovered that the biggest roadblock isn't technology, it's psychology. By the end of this video, you'll understand why you might be getting stuck and have a practical 3-step system I've seen used so many times to break through that paralysis, to build meaningful professional relationships without the stress. And I promise it'll take less time than brewing your morning coffee. Unless you're one of those people with one of those complicated pour-over setups, in which case, I don't know, we need to have a different conversation about how you're spending your time. Sorry, I'm a tea person. So I was on a call last week with someone who had signed up for my CRM Relatable. They had gone through the process, uploaded all their contacts, complete paralysis. Does that sound familiar? They kept saying, there are thousands of contacts in here. I don't know where to start. Which relationships matter? Should I be adding more details? Should I be reaching out to everyone? Should I just be moving to Bali and unplugging and living in a hut on the beach? They're not alone. I see this pattern actually constantly. People understand the importance of their network. They get really excited about organizing it. And then they face what I call the database abyss. That moment when you stare at all of those names and your brain just shuts down. It turns out that most networking advice actually makes this problem worse. We're told to maximize our network or nurture every relationship or stay top of mind with everyone. That's like telling someone who's never jogged to run a marathon tomorrow. Not helpful, and if you're a jogger, potentially harmful. Let's break down what's really happening here. Remember, our brains are hardwired to conserve energy. And one of the ways they do this is by avoiding tasks that seem overwhelming. When you look at hundreds or thousands of contacts and think, I need to manage all of these relationships, your brain essentially says, too much work, let's scroll Instagram instead. But here's the non-obvious insight. The size of your network isn't actually the problem. The problem is thinking that you need to do everything at once in order to get started. I've studied behavioral psychology for years around this, and one principle keeps showing up, that consistent tiny actions beat sporadic massive efforts every single time. This is especially true for relationship building. Most people actually think about relationship management is like cleaning out your garage. It's a big, exhausting project you tackle once a year. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna organize my entire database and reach out to everyone. But it's actually more like brushing your teeth, a small daily habit that prevents really big problems down the road. The myth that keeps tripping people up is thinking that more is better. More contacts, more information, more outreach. In reality, the opposite is true. What if I actually told you that focusing on maybe just 3 contacts every day would build a stronger network than trying to message 50 people once a month? It sounds counterintuitive, but I've seen it work countless times. So here are some ideas around tactical applications. In fact, here's a 3-step process to overcome networking paralysis. So step 1 is just implement the 3-2-1 rule. Each day, all you need to do is identify 3 contacts to update, 2 to categorize in some way, and then 1 to reach out to. That's it. Take 5 minutes. You can pick them almost randomly out of your database and focus just on them. Don't worry about finding the perfect contacts right now. Your brain loves completable tasks, and this gives you a very clear, achievable finish line. For today, for example, I might update info for my contacts, Sarah, John, and Miguel, categorize Teresa and Patrick as industry partners, and send a quick text to Rachel saying, hey Rachel, your presentation on AI coffee making popped into my mind today. Really thought-provoking stuff. Hope you're doing well. Step 2 can be the tiny offer approach. When reaching out to someone, don't try to schedule a call or ask for something that requires significant time. Instead, just share something small that takes less than 30 seconds to consume. It could be an article just with a note saying, hey, I saw this and immediately thought of your work with remote teams. The 3rd paragraph especially, or simple, just wanted to say that your text message that you sent to me last month was really spot on. I really appreciate it. I really appreciated that outreach. And step 3 is to create a daily habit trigger. That could just be 5 minutes. Link your networking activity to something you already do every day. So I have clients who review 3 contacts while waiting for their coffee to brew, or send 1 outreach message right after they're checking their morning email. One client literally puts a sticky note in her bathroom mirror that says, "Who gets a text today?" and decides before she even brushes her teeth. See, the magic here isn't in the specific actions, it's in the consistency. Simple systems implemented repeatedly win. When you take small actions every day, you avoid the anxiety of facing your entire database at once. Plus, you're actually building a sustainable habit rather than an unsustainable networking sprint that leaves you exhausted and avoidant and frankly never want to do that again. I could give you complex strategies and sophisticated outreach templates, but that would just feed into the overwhelm problem. And I see a lot of coaches do that in order to make you think they have got this something special. But what you need isn't more information, it's permission to start small and the structure to stay consistent. So here's your immediate next step. Open your contact list right now, whether that's in a CRM, your phone, or honestly, just even LinkedIn. And just one person to reach out to today. Not tomorrow, not this weekend, when you have more time, today. Send them a quick message, just no agenda required. After years of working with everyone from solo entrepreneurs to Fortune 500 executives, I can tell you with certainty, the most successful networkers aren't the ones with the most contacts or the fanciest strategies. They're just the ones who show up consistently, even in small ways. Let me know in the comments who you reached out to and how it went. And remember, your network isn't built in a day, but it is built daily.